Hearing people who are like brand new to the game be like, yeah, throw loops and drive rush. Am I right, fellas? When they like don't know how to block on wake up. It's so clearly a byproduct of hearing or seeing what other people complain about and not like knowing what the actual problem is for your current level. That's why my favorite thing about all the hating lately has been the knee rank checks. Have you guys seen these? Knee has been tweeting things about Tekken, both good or bad, right? Or whatever he says. And then people in the comments are like there to yap at him. Dude, you're so stupid. You're so wrong. And he just hits them with, what's your rank, bro? Is rank checking people a little rude? Yeah, probably. But these random people are just flaming him. He's the literal Evo champion. He won his 4th Evo. He's like, listen, people from all skill levels think different things is good and bad. I'm like, you know, it's good to know. And then this comment here. Passive aggressively displaying the rank disparity and indirectly claiming how you disregard many of the opinions of the player base because they're low rank as compared to you is interesting. Perhaps becoming a politician would post-retirement would suit you. Perhaps rereading what you write would suit you. I don't look down on people just because their rank is low. But I can ignore those who I think are as crooked as you. Inexperienced, low middle rank people have made a lot of offensive comments rather than logical. So what's your rank or profile? Question mark. Listen, I'm not here to flame people also who are low rank, but I do think it's pretty interesting to see the way people engage with fighting games. I've been thinking about this a lot with Tekken in particular. The osmosis is just too powerful and people are like really bad at like just talking with each other or like having nuance in the things they say. They're like yapping way above their pay grade. Everybody complained that this game was like super aggro and all about killing each other and like you couldn't play defense in this game. But like how many people on the planet does that apply to? How many Tekken players are there in the world who have like world-class defense, know how to sidestep and block punish and fuzzy all of the stuff in the game and are like very proficient at that and like understand the nuances of like all these characters' offense? Less than 1,000 people or something maybe. I feel like it's like a pretty small sample size of people in the world who are probably that good at it. I don't want to open the can of worms too badly, but I've been thinking about Tekken more and more and more lately, and I really think Tekken fans are like the most whiny fan base in fighting games. Maybe I won't name somebody, but I was talking to a notable person who's involved in Tekken. He doesn't work at the company or anything. I talked to someone at Evo Japan and he told me with a straight face, Tekken fans are the closest fans to Smash Brothers fans in fighting games. Is he on to something? I say this because I just want to give you an example. Tekken came out and it's like pretty different from previous Tekkens. It's like the first time they try to iterate and create like a system that is like just such a big departure from the past that has like a universal system that all characters interact with. And it's a pretty high power level system. You know, it's not surprising when the first betas came out, people had opinions about it and they nerfed it. Not surprising that like when the game came out in season 1, people had a lot of opinions about it and they had to change it and nerf it a lot. And it's like been nerfed a lot since then. A system like that is like game warping, right? It takes a long time to get right. And they haven't really done so much stuff like that in the past. And they're launching a game straight to console without like the arcade period. So nothing about the launch of this game in terms of the balance of it and stuff surprises me that much. It drops the season 2 patch where a lot of people were really pissed and demanded an emergency patch to fix a lot of the things that people were mad with. Tekken made the emergency patch, apologized, announced another patch, which has since then come out and announced like 2 more to cover everything to try to be like, we know we messed up, our bad. We have like 3 or 4 emergency patches happening to like fix all this. We're so sorry and yada yada and etc. For a comparison, Guilty Gear Strive Season 4 came out. People were furious with the patch. Very similar to Tekken. People were like, this needs to be emergency fix. It's gotta go. Like this version of the game is like insane. And Arxis responded just like Bandai Namco was like, our bad. We're so sorry. Like, that's our mistake. We're going to make an emergency patch to fix stuff. They did a 1 emergency patch. It didn't like dramatically change everything to make people happy, which is the same as the Tekken patch. And then that was kind of it. They were like, all right, cool. And then they like vanished into the bushes. And people have just been playing that Strive patch since then. Tekken is like, we patched, we're so sorry. We got another patch in May. We're so sorry. We got another patch here. We're so sorry. We got another patch here. We're so sorry. Then they dragged their sorry faces up on stage to announce Falcomrom, which is honestly almost a fate worse than death. Like they just looked miserable up there. And like when you compare those two things side by side, Tekken's handling of it is like, all right, like they're making a lot of changes here. A lot's happening. Like they're trying their best. Like they're not doing everything perfect, but direct comparison, like the way Strive was handled is a lot less hands-on than the way Tekken's handled. And what it really makes me think about, one, this is the danger of being a game dev that is connected at face point to your fan base. In Street Fighter, They don't get any. Like, the Street Fighter devs just vanish. You don't even have a face to like yell at. Whereas in Tekken, you have direct communication to the devs like at all times to yap to, for better or for worse. And they do like these Tekken talks. They tell you when they're gonna patch next. They're like telling you all this info. They're like trying to communicate with you. And I think basically what's going to happen sort of inevitably with anything like that is that they're just going to pull back. Whenever Harada or Michael are no longer the public facing person in this job, whoever's next is like not going to stick their neck out, because why would you, seeing what's going on over there, right? If I was working on the Tekken team, I would basically be like, these two should like not be in public and we should just not communicate with people and we should just vanish. I don't think that Tekken has handled things extremely well. They've made a lot of mistakes and stuff, right? And like Michael Murray needs to get the fuck off Twitter. That guy tweets to his own peril so often. Even when Tekken 7 was like booming, a lot of good things were happening with that game and like people were far happier than they were now. Like you just see the way people respond to them and it's like so outrageous. It doesn't matter if times are good, times are bad. Similarly, you guys probably saw, if you pay attention to like the video game space at all, that Mortdog was doing the exact same thing for many years for TFT. He was like the face of TFT. He would be doing patch breakdowns for all their patches, explaining all their game balance decisions, explaining why they do stuff. You know, he's the guy in front of the game. And he just got like so sick of the way the community interacts with them that he just was like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. And that's it. So you just lose your access to insight and like explanations for any balance patching, and you lose the communication that you have directly to the devs, right? I think Tekken will probably go that way eventually. I'd be pretty surprised if they don't. And it doesn't matter what everybody's intentions are, because I think most people probably don't want to like push away the devs and never hear from them again. And like, you don't want to get them, but like inevitably when you open the floodgates, you just deal with so many annoying, even if you have 1,000 nice comments to one mean comment ratio, inevitably I think you get got and you just get sick of it, you know? This happens in like every game dev situation where they like publicly communicate with their audience, I think. Even in the comments, somebody was like, you're very disingenuous in your description of all this right now. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I was very fair. And not only that, like I feel like Tekken fans are so yappy by comparison, and when you look across at other games, I don't even think it's close. Harada and Murray have antagonized their fans a lot, to the point where people just started not liking them no matter what. Okay, so no matter what they say, people are gonna shit on them, you're saying. I'm supposed to take that as like yeah, that's their fault and not the Tekken fans' fault. I agree with you. They need to get the fuck off Twitter, especially Michael, because he just says shit and then it's just always a disaster. He needs to stop tweeting and looking at Twitter. But Harada will answer like 12 people in a row nicely. And I'm not, you know, I'm not going to go out here defending Harada or anything, right? When he says something mean to someone, it's probably because they say something mean a lot of times. Sometimes he just like snaps on people, but you could just see it if you look at his comments. The second thing is, you say the game is $70 and they added an item shop and season passes after the release. I mean, like, yeah, they did. Street Fighter is full price and selling costume, and I wish they would sell another costume. I understand your frustration with full price plus battle pass plus costume. That is a normal thing that games just do now, unfortunately. But also, fighting games are bad value for their costs anyway. And the other games, like the competitors to it, are full price with those exact same things, and then like sometimes less content. In Street Fighter's case, there's just like only avatar stuff, which is really annoying. Again, you could be upset about it, but remove your brain from Tekken and like view the ecosystem and compare it to the other options available in the genre. Not to say that any of them are close to the standard of content that you get from other games outside the genre, but just comparing it across the exact same genre. And to your third point, the season 2 patch has been getting delayed several times now, so people want a better balance than season 1. The thing you're describing is the exact example of the Stride patch. It's the same thing. Like the Stride patch, it got pushed back and like people were waiting for the Stride patch and they had to wait a long time, and then it came out and then people were mad at it, and then they did an emergency patch, and then that was it. No, all the characters in Stride have not gotten their new moves yet. They announced that like 2.5 years ago or something. When I said that you're like a Smash fan, I mean you. I'm talking about you. I'm not here to defend Tekken's decisions, because I think a lot of them are really whack, and I've talked a lot of shit. I'm in agreement, but also it's like, god damn, the level of yapping in Tekken's like pillar versus the sins of what's going on. I think when you compare it across the aisle at other fighting games, it has me scratching my chin. You know, I got no lost love for Tekken. I don't need Tekken to do well. I'm just saying, as an outsider looking in, I'm like, man, these people are feral beasts. Again, there's a lot of bad things about Tekken to be pissed about, but like, I think that way about every fighting game. Fighting games are in a really good spot in like lots of ways, but also in a really bad spot in lots of ways. But yeah, like Street Fighter, how much does Street Fighter cost right now? Let's look. It's $40. This game came out 2 years ago. $29.99 for the year 2 character pass and $29.99 for the year 1 character pass. That's how much it costs. Is there like a bundle that comes with like the game and like both seasons of DLC? On June 5th. Okay. If you want to buy Street Fighter, buy it June 5th then. No way you didn't write a review for Street Fighter 6 on Steam. What do you want me to say? I don't know, man. Let your heart speak. Game good, needs more outfits. Post review. Yes. Very good. I think you're supposed to give it a negative review because of turning green. Watching these streamers who don't know how to block on wake up be like, Drive Rush is killing this game. I'm like, that'd be like my Tekken play and being like, you know, it's too hard to play defensive in this game when I don't even know my character's moves. My sidestepping used to be better in 5DR. Yeah, this is all your fault, chat. Unless you're like Punk, you can't complain about Drive Rushes blowing up clean neutral. The rest of you, or are you playing clean neutral? There's like one guy. What about IDOM? What IDOM doesn't like about Street Fighter 6, he did to people all of Street Fighter 5. I'm just saying he's got to pay the toll. Like a whole game has to go by. Then he can complain. I was evil too. I was playing Urian. It's not like I, you know, reaping and sowing. When I didn't write a review, thank God. I would have been like, game good, needs less costumes. I like Street Fighter 5. And I like Street Fighter 4 as well. When I played Street Fighter 4, most people told me the game was bad. And for babies and like for scrubs, and I liked it. I mean, especially at the end of Street Fighter 4, people were so over that game. They're like, it's Sleep Fighter. And I was like, no, this shit's fun though. That is a hard thing to describe to people. When Street Fighter 5 was coming out, people were like, thank God Street Fighter 4 is done now. Street Fighter 5 is like the return of fundamentals and honest Street Fighter now. We're like playing real Street Fighter now. OGs, the old players will be good now because Street Fighter 4 is for babies and Street Fighter 5 is like the footsie haven. And players like Graham Wolf playing ST Vega, Graham Wolf is going to be back, and like all the footsie players in Street Fighter 5, it's going to happen. That was the rhetoric around the game. I know that sounds made up. Like you think I'm exaggerating, but it's like that's really what people said. And then it came out and everybody was like, see, it's the savior for like 10 minutes and then it was over.